My name is Father Jacob Rouse. I'm the pastor of Notre Dame Parish in Cresco, Iowa. Let's continue our discussion about platitudes. We've talked about in the past videos, everything happens for a reason. It is what it is. Time heals all wounds. God must have needed another angel in heaven. When God closes a door, he opens a window. Just think about how much worse other people have it. And then we've got two for today. So also keep in mind, remember, that these phrases, if they are helpful to you as the subject of the pain and suffering, then you do whatever it is that you need to do to get through it, through prayer and through helpful phrases. What I'm cautioning against and want to bring to light in these videos is you should not be saying these phrases to try to either ease someone else's guilt, at you as an outsider to that pain. You should not be saying them to try to ease their guilt or to try to explain it away. So if you are the subject of the suffering, do whatever you need to get through within moral and legal bounds. But these are phrases that we try to latch onto as outsiders to that suffering and that pain. So today, as a small mini one, I want to say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, that's an exciting one. Isn't that hopeful and fun? Well, drinking out of the garden hose when I was little, eating ramen in college, or a divorce, or watching my grandfather die and then burying him, none of those killed me, but they sure changed me and are part of my experience. Did they make me stronger? I don't know. That's for me to decide. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, I mean, that's technically how vaccines and medicine work, but whatever. Okay, so done with that one. So I want to talk about today the Handel quotes. The Handel quotes, not Handel's Messiah. I think you'll recognize this one. So the first one is, God will never give you more than you can handle. Cheer up. Very good. God will never give you more than you can handle. Okay. That phrase has evolved and been kind of the ball, snowballs down the mountain, and it turns into, God doesn't give us what we can handle. God helps us handle what we are given. Okay, very good. God will very likely give you more than you can handle. He will not, however, give you more than he can handle. Okay? If God brings you to it, he will bring you through it. And then finally, keep your head up. God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers. Okay. All right, so maybe you find those comforting. Maybe not. I don't, because it assumes a lot about what God does or gives us or allows. So let's take this to Scripture, which is how we should do everything. God will never give you more than you can handle. This original phrase or quote or bumper sticker, whatever it is, based on my research, comes from 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13, which St. Paul says to us, no trial has come to you but what is human. God is faithful and will not let you be tried beyond your strength. But with the trial, he will also provide a way out so that you may be able to bear it. I'm using the New American Bible, the Catholic translation, but whatever translation you use and you read in Scripture, there's no arguing what the Greek is. The Greek word for trial is pirazo, which means try, tempt, test, make proof of. So let's compare that to another phrase, just to back it up. Matthew chapter 4, verse 1. Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the desert to be tempted by the devil. Pirazo, trial, probation, testing, temptation, calamity, affliction. So we don't know for sure exactly what St. Paul was talking about, but we can gain from the verses before verse 13 and after 13, because he's talking about morality, he's talking about fleshly sins, that God will not lead you to a temptation that you cannot overcome, or that he won't give you the strength to overcome it. So when we turn that in English to God will never give you more than you can handle. Or if God leads you to it, he will bring you through it. So that's why we need to separate, child abuse, cancer, losing your job, all these bad things that happen to you are over here. And then what St. Paul is talking about is temptation. So the very basis for this phrase, God will never give you more than you can handle, is based off scripturally a temptation, not a bad thing that happens in life. So for you to say to someone who just lost their loved one, or who's going through a divorce, or is struggling with a difficult sickness, or anyone who just has the coronavirus or a common cold, God will never give you more than you can handle. Okay, so you are, in that moment, you are basically switching the meaning of what that quote is to something bad when it should mean temptation. If you're talking with someone who's struggling with alcoholism or pornography or some other temptation, yeah, sure, use that. God will never, because he allows us to be tempted to strengthen us and to prove us. He did the same thing to his own son. So I just want to make that separation. I hope that's clear. It's kind of deep, but bad things that happen to us, calamities, afflictions, sicknesses, bad things, is in a separate pile than temptations, which God leads us to and will also lead us through it. So, for the finale of this platitude talk and discussion, next time on Saturday, I want to talk about, does God actually lead us to it? Does God allow it? Or does he straight up give it to us? Stay tuned. Go wash your hands.